What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Canelo Alvarez, Dmitry Bivol. Get this. Eddie Hearn says Canelo Alvarez versus Dmitry Bivol rematch in May if Dmitry beats Ramirez. Wow. Matchroom boxing promoter Eddie Hearn states that Canelo will fight Dmitry Bivol in May if the unbeaten WBA lightweight heavyweight champion gets past Gilberto Zorro Ramirez on November 5th in Abu Dhabi. Hearn says that Canelo's loss to Bivol last month was a product of him fighting with an injured left hand and perhaps underestimating him. Canelo used the wrong game plan by standing in front of Bivol, throwing only single shots. You could hear Canelo's trainer-manager, Eddie Reynoso, barking instructions to him between rounds, telling him to fight smart and not stand directly in front of him. Despite Reynoso giving Canelo sound advice, he failed to consistently follow what he wanted him to do. Canelo is one of the biggest stars in the sport with the best resume in the sport. For me, he's still pound for pound number one, says Eddie Hearn to Fight Hub, praising Canelo Alvarez. Let me counterpunch. First off, excuses, no needed. Let's omit them. Okay? Left hand, please. No, I don't think so. You know, as you heard his corner say, listen, you can't stand straight in front of Dmitry Bivol, and he did that. He did not obey his team. He did not obey his corner, and he used the wrong game plan because of only thing I can think of is arrogance. Canelo Alvarez had got so used to hitting people with one or two shots to hurt them, to cripple, to break their will, and then take those single shot counter punches and selective punches to get his particular opponent out of there. He couldn't do that with someone like Dmitry Bivol because Bivol was bigger for one, and he was aware of what Canelo was doing for two. You know, and in his defense, and he did not lack off and he did not let off the gas. He consistently stuck to the game plan and got Canelo out of there. Okay? That's exactly what happened. That's all that happened. All right? So I look at Canelo Alvarez not being injured or whatever, and I don't see him pound for pound. I see him as one of the top pound for pound fighters, but not up there with Crawford. You know, he did make a splash by whooping all that ass last year. He beat three undefeated fighters, Smith, Saunders, and Plant. Okay? So he did a pretty good job up there at that weight class. But when he went to 175, he underestimated Dmitry Bivol by throwing single shots. I don't think it had anything to do with his injured hand or whatever. No, it didn't have anything to do with it because we would have saw and heard something after that. Okay, so I think that's just Eddie throwing that in there, you know, to make people believe that Canelo Alvarez had an injury and therefore he couldn't perform, but then say all that other shit that he didn't do. Maybe it was just the other shit that he didn't do that caused him to fight. The game plan, standing in front of the guy, his defense wasn't on par, the arrogance was this high, bars. So I think at the end of the day, I feel that Canelo Alvarez fighting Dmitry Bivol again may produce the same thing, and Eddie Hearn may be suffering from the similar experience that he suffered from Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk. Okay, so just be prepared for that, and don't say I didn't tell you so. If Canelo Alvarez goes in there fighting the wrong game plan, and the same thing happens to him, you know, and Eddie Hearn right? But anyway, those type of things happen. You tell me what you think of Eddie Hearn stating that Canelo Alvarez will fight Canelo Alvarez will fight Dmitry Bivol if he gets past Zorro Ramirez in May. Tell me what you think. Please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!